Welcome to Notes from the Pastor's Office. I'm Chris. I was going to use this episode to introduce you to the Institute on Religion and Democracy. However, since they're always doing and saying things that are worthy of comment, I can hold off on them till later. Instead, I wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate the NRA and the rest of the gun lobby for proving that all it takes to get your legislative will is stamina, fearful propaganda, and a ton of money. The news today is that key provisions of the Senate's package on gun reform measures are being and are going to be thrown out. This includes the assault weapons ban. I don't care if that's a misnomer, whatever, the assault weapons ban, and the extremely non-controversial standards for decreasing magazine size, all out. Before I go any further, I need to be clear about where I stand. I haven't taken one of my video blog opportunities to tell you where I stand. Not that you asked, but I'm going to share, so nobody can misconstrue what it is I favor or not. I believe in the citizen's right to bear arms. I don't want to see that right taken away. In fact, I even enjoy shooting clay pigeons for fun, thanks to my friend Lonnie Bell, with whom I share differences of opinion on this matter. I do, however, believe in limits to that right, and unapologetically so, I believe in limits to that right. Now, I'm not going to bore you with all the different statistics about gun violence and ownership around the world. However, the undeniable truth, the absolutely undeniable truth of the matter is that the correlation between the number of guns that exist in a nation and the number of people who die from them are linked. The more guns you have, the more people who are going to die from them. This is a fact, and it is indisputable. The U.S. is among the worst nations for deaths by firearms. This is a fact. It is indisputable. In the U.S., nearly 3,000 people have been killed by firearms since December 14th of 2012. Yes, December 14th was the date of the Sandy Hook Elementary School gun massacre. How quickly we forget, or allow ourselves to be motivated by fictional fear, which is essentially, the NRA, the National Association for Gun Rights, or NAGR for short, and the like, have proven that all you need is perseverance, propaganda, and a ton of gun manufacturer cash to overcome good common sense in most of the American public. Thank you. From myself and the victims of the next gun massacre, I want to say thank you. Finally, I did not mention this yet, and as far as it goes, this aspect of the gun debate doesn't get discussed much. But I didn't yet mention the faith aspect of this issue, mainly because it has shades of gray, and we have proven ourselves incapable of understanding shades of gray. Now, what does this issue look like from a faith standpoint? Well, the Bible doesn't really say anything concrete on the issue, mainly because firearms didn't exist back then. The Bible gives mixed messages on self-defense. God calls nations to act to defend themselves, and Jesus tells his disciples that those who live by the sword will die by the sword. Those are competing ideas. Personally, I tend to err on Jesus' side on this, as if you didn't already know. However, I don't have a problem with those Christians who desire to own a firearm. But there is a problem that we must look at. The problem comes in when we consider our mindset. What are we saying when we own a firearm? What are we saying about our hope in God? What are we saying about our hope in things of this world? What are we saying about the example of Jesus when we own a firearm? Jesus says that if you harbor hatred for someone, it's as if you've committed murder. So for what purpose do you own that gun? My bottom line on this is this. For the Christian, the idea of owning a gun should at least be a tough or difficult decision. It should be something with which you wrestle. You shouldn't always be comfortable with it as a Christian, and that's my opinion, and I'm sure, and I invite you to take time in the comment section, either on my blog, which is where I prefer it, or in the comment section on Facebook or on Twitter. Please come to me with those comments, because, I understand that there are differing opinions on this, but I believe that owning a gun, at least for the Christian, should be something with which you wrestle. But for the time being, at least, you will be able to buy whatever large caliber, large magazine weapon you desire. And if the NRA and others have their way, you will be able to do it without background checks or without having to register said firearm. So there's that. That's this episode of Notes from the Pastor's Office. Find me on Twitter at ICanHasGospel, gospel spelled with a Z. Find me on Facebook, and as always, my blog, notesfromthepastorsoffice.com. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.